Welcome to First Time Moms, the podcast. I'm your host, Brooklyn, and today I'm joined again by
Ashley.
And Phlycia.
All right, y'all, let's get right on into it. Is mom okay? So I saw a video. Was Rihanna on the video? No. Chloe's sister.
Holly.
Holly Bailey. Thank you. Ooh, thank you. So, and I actually like her. So Holly, no shade. But Holly did a commercial, and then it was the plus size full figure white girl with all the tattoos. I want to say Tessa, but I don't know if that's her name or not.
Okay. I think so.
But they all were like, and it was a couple other people, but they were doing their take. So is mom okay? And it was like talking about mental health issues, emotional issues, different things like that. And I do recognize too that they're younger moms too, so they still have little bitty babies. So is mom okay with infants? Is way different from is mom okay with some teenagers or children, whatever. What y'all think? Are y'all okay?
To be quite honest, I have been on a complete emotional roller coaster. So like I started taking phentermine, weight loss medication.
Okay.
And I had some issues with it with my digestive, so I kind of took maybe 2 weeks off. I was kind of drinking when I told you guys I went to Puerto Rico. And so that'll kind of have adverse effects itself. But my mood was so shitty. And my husband got the brunt of it, for real, all of it. I was a complete, we just celebrated 7 years of marriage.
Congrats.
Thank you. May 11th. And Mother's Day was the same day. And I laid in bed all day. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to talk to anybody. He was so sweet. He had cleaned up the house. He was just trying to be so accommodating, and I was just not. But I feel like there's so many factors. I said that to say that I feel like there's so many factors that go into whether you're okay or not. And that a lot of times for me, when I think that I get into a routine and I get into something where I'm able to handle something emotionally, something else pops up.
Okay.
So yeah, right now I'm a lot better. I'm kind of taking a break from it and trying to see if I'm gonna get back on it. But a few weeks ago, absolutely not. What about you?
I think I could actually solidly say I'm okay as far as being a mom goes. Right now, baseball is whooping my ass.
Right.
So
it's still baseball season?
It is still baseball season. And my 6-year-old, he plays Go Gresham Park Underdogs.
Okay.
But he plays and just balancing, of course, it's end of the year at work. Or was.
So I was about to say
summertime.
Right. He had a job. That's what I'm like, oh, he working too?
So the end of the year with work is a hectic that I'm used to. But then with baseball, the practicing and the games, and they'll have Tuesday 7 p.m. games, Thursday 7 p.m. So it's but they want you there at 5:30.
Right.
So the running around, the sitting in the sun, and I'm just I don't want to do this shit no more. But it's not. I feel like it's not up to me because I think we talked about the baseball team stuff before, but he gets so much more out of it. So I'm kind of sacrificing my own contentment with that. But with it being the summertime, summer break, I'm looking forward to being more okay. So he's mellowing out. He's coming out that toddler era of being so needy and dependent. And I feel like he's balancing out not being so smart mouth and snappy, which probably is genetic. But and so I feel like we're mellowing out. So I'm okay as far as the mom part goes. I feel like kind of sort of. How about you?
I would be so honest. I am okay if I'm not pregnant.
Yeah.
So I don't know what was going on in my household, but I was on the phone with the nurse the other day describing a bunch of symptoms, and I'm just like, I've never been sick like this before. Like, what is this? And she was like, do you think you might be pregnant? And I was like, I don't want to be. I don't. Why would you ask me that? So yesterday we were at a graduation party and my son bends over and looks between his legs.
Oh, congratulations. Oh, wow.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
And here's the funny thing, because this is his godmom. We was at his godmama house. So she was like, girl, remember when I told you the same thing with Pootie? Because Pootie was looking through her legs. I said, Pootie came out the womb looking through her legs. Don't put that on me. Do not put that on me. Like, y'all, when I tell you, I'm so, okay, so Pootie came. I was trying real hard with Pootie. Me and Evan had a little situation where it looked like we was going to make it. And I followed him, and for his birthday, I was like, I'm gonna be Meg Thee Stallion on steroids, the baddest porn star, the baddest strip. I'm about to be everything. I'm about to have a baby by this man. Like I gotta do what I gotta do. I'm about to have a baby by this man. Here comes Pootie. That was his birthday. Then we go 2 years later to St. Martin for a whole week on his birthday. I come back, I'm mad, I can't breathe. It's just all the symptoms, and I was like, just take the test.
So do you feel like it's the same thing?
He just had a birthday too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Damn.
We would never celebrate his birthday ever again. Like his birthday.
You just need to stop going so hard.
I'm like, because this is how I feel. I've done the birth control. I took one for the team. I did birth control 7 years. It's not us. It's the men of the sperm. Yeah. It's them. It's you. You hold the key. It's you. It's not me. Me and my eggs are over here chilling. It's your sperm that can't stay where it's at because my eggs are staying here. They ain't traveling. My fallopian tubes ain't moving. It's you. You need to wrap that up, do what you gotta do. But y'all, when I tell y'all, okay, I'm gonna go and get the Dollar Tree tests are the best ones to me. Yeah. But I'm gonna get 2, 3.
I never heard that either.
They're the ones they use at the hospitals.
Well, let me tell you something. First pregnancy test I ever took, I stole it out of Walmart.
Which one was it? The 97-cent one?
No, it was like a one that says
State of the art,
not pregnant.
Oh, she had that clear blue.
Yep.
With the blue cap.
Yep.
I stole one of those from Walmart before too.
Stole it out.
I
really shouldn't have been having sex in the first place if I couldn't even afford it. If I had to steal it out, but payday wasn't until Friday. It was like a solid Wednesday.
And you needed to know.
And I needed to know. I was having so much cramping. I remember I was like, my period about to come. And then it would just like keep like, yeah, all right.
So was you pregnant?
Yes, I was pregnant as hell.
Oh, congrats.
My I can't even say first, my only. My only pregnancy test I've ever taken was a Dollar Tree test. But I was so fucking pregnant that I don't even think I peed on the stick. I think I peed and whiffed it in the air. We didn't even wait 30 seconds. It was like, no, you know fucking better.
That line will go
you know good and fucking well.
But I was 8.5 months pregnant. So it was not.
Yeah.
I ain't never tell that story.
She had she did not know she was pregnant.
With somebody else. No.
I was pregnant for 40 days that I know of. Yeah.
And was having a baby.
And I found out December 1st. He was born January 11th. So yeah, that's why yeah. So that's what makes me partly not okay, right? You know, he's a character. But I so because I think about people like Holly, and I don't know her personally, of course, but I wonder if, because for one, I don't know her answer to the question that she gave in that particular setting, but I wonder if her answer is impacted in any way by the fact that she felt the need to like hide her pregnancy from so many people.
Did she?
Oh yeah, that was a whole like.
I felt like at one point that's what she was doing, right? Like she had.
That was a whole she denied being pregnant until she revealed the baby.
Yeah.
But people, fans are like
they can see
there.
it.
So they're like looking at live videos. We hear a baby in the back Christmas. There was this whole thing where they opened gifts and somebody was like, y'all hear the baby in the background? Like people were zooming in, like reversing it back. But they said that she was pregnant long before she ever revealed that baby. That was a big thing. And so now she's going back and she's sharing, like, this was me when I had my bump at 6 months. And this was us at that, and I got y'all. And everybody like, that shit ain't funny.
I wonder if
Everybody
she was
find that funny.
scared. I really wonder if she was scared.
Is she? Because she's young.
Yeah.
Right? How old is she?
And
I think
small.
it was more so a marketing play, honestly. I think it was very much so because you know her guy, her boyfriend,
He's
whatever,
a rapper.
He does YouTube.
DGG.
Oh, he's not a rapper?
He's
trying.
Oh, I
He's
thought
I
trying.
thought he started off with YouTube.
He in my opinion, he's what is it, a nepo baby kind of sorta. But basically he
What's a nepo baby for those?
like
that don't know?
somebody in the industry or some sort has some money and you know now you so he's successful.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's like as successful in the rapping part.
Okay.
I think he's more successful in the YouTube part.
Right.
But and so they thrive off of like their fans finding out more than they share.
Okay.
So that was a thing on Twitter. It had so many like full on arguments that when she revealed her baby, folks was like, "Girl, anyway." Like they just so that's why I said I wonder if that plays a part in like how she feels because now she's sharing and folks like we don't care.
Or we already
did
knew.
care.
We been knew.
Right, when we did care.
I did not know all of
Yeah,
that.
it was a whole little issue. So I that's why I kind of wondered with the people who are having first time babies now. It's such a like we gotta do the gender reveal. First of all, we gotta reveal that we're pregnant. We gotta do the gender reveal.
Yeah.
We gotta have the push party. We gotta have the baby shower.
The baby.
You know, we gotta Sexy Red drops a baby and shoots a whole freaking video at the
Posted up in the
hospital.
hospital bed like.
and
it
now
wasn't nothing.
everybody thinks they have to be on that type of time. Like, and I think that it drives those like people don't once you have that baby, like it is exactly like the old stuff you hear. Say goodbye to sleep. Say goodbye to peace and quiet and just
to your body, to
Yeah,
your
to
mind,
your body.
to life as you ever knew it
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, because
And imagine
literally
living in the
everything
light.
is going to change. And I feel like there's such a pressure almost to do all of these things, and that you can almost feel like you're not okay or not successful because you're not doing all those things. Like so I do parties on the side, and some of the
What
stuff
kind
that
of
people will
parties?
ask for, girl, I decorate.
They've
Yeah.
seen all that.
I decorate. I decorate. But some of the stuff, it's just I remember my baby shower, like it was, and I only had one, even though I had 3 kids. I was not having all of those baby showers all that time. I don't know. I
It's
didn't
free
feel
stuff.
like what, but now I had boys back to back, so I was kind of recycling stuff.
Okay.
At that point. Like I think the second time we bought a crib was like with my youngest son.
Okay.
Like the other time we were just kind of like recycling it. But I just remember thinking like, I wonder how I would feel now having kids, even though I just had a baby 4 years ago. Even that span of time has kind of changed things so much. Like there's such a magnified, what's the word I'm looking for? A magnifying glass just on the events that are leading up to the baby. And it's like, after you have it, it's like, okay, now what?
Everybody disappears.
Yeah.
Everybody wants an invite to the baby shower. Nobody then goes, hey, I know you got this little person in your arms all day. I'll come wash your dishes.
Right.
Or I'll come clean bottles. Or like, and then especially now in this day and age, I feel like it's made so much easier to be there for somebody without being there for somebody.
Yes.
Send some groceries to my house.
Yes.
Like send some wipes and
yes.
So I never got to have a baby shower because he came before. He came before we could do anything. And so everybody's like, well, do
baby
it.
shower.
I know because there's no babies. There's no.
You should have one of his birthday parties as a baby shower.
Listen, since you never got one.
The one we never had.
He would probably love it because he loves baby Aaron, as he calls him. When he see the picture, he's like, look at baby Aaron. I'm like, you know it's you, right? Like,
she got the decorations.
You know.
Right.
But it's because that was the case, like, shout out to my family because, boy, was I living the bachelorette life. And
they came and they
literally flipped when I went to the hospital. I went to the hospital January 10th. and they flipped that entire apartment, which is nowhere near baby. I had no stroller, no net. They went out and got everything right then and there. That was a shower.
Yeah.
And to the point where you know what, I thank God. I've never been a girl's girl. That sounds bad. I'm a girl's girl. I've never had the big female group of friends.
Okay.
I've always had male friends. One thing about men, when it comes to their friends, is that they're very straight, direct, to the point, solution oriented most times. And so, luckily, my male friends, they're like, okay, you don't have the baby. Like, we're gonna do this. Like, my son's entire bedroom right now is because of his god dad.
Oh,
Like, it's everything in there. So what I can't do, they were like, oh, we got it. You know, we'll do. But I say that to say they would still come by and be like, did you eat what you need to eat?
Yeah.
Like, what do y'all need to eat? Like, what he need milk? What kind of milk? You know, I got men who've never been around a kid in the store like Similac. What kind of stuff? You know, right. And so I just think that it's crazy. And that's why I wonder about those celebrities.
Yeah.
Do they have, because they're so used to so many eyes on them. And there's something about once the baby comes, everybody's like,
I don't think that's Sexy Red first child though. I think that might be her second.
Yeah. That's not her first.
Oh, okay.
Probably the third.
Okay, I just knew it wasn't first. So her snapback game probably was different because she's just a different individual, I think. Yeah, she's just different in general. But I think that Hallie and the other lady, I think more so they were talking about like the emotions and stuff. And that's why I said with their kids being younger too, because like you said, there is no sleep. But I love how your friends and your family was for you, because I feel like a huge piece of motherhood, like, is mom okay? Is mom being considered by others? Like, are other people even taking the time to ask mom if she's okay and what she's going on? Mm-hmm. And is mom comfortable enough to even disclose what's... Because I straight up and down would just be like, Evan, I just feel really, really sad today. I don't know why. Or I feel like this, or I feel like that. I remember one day our living room set up. We had a couch. We had a sectional, but the long end went here, so it cut off like the kitchen area. And I remember I came out the room one day and Evan rearranged the furniture, and I just, it's too many changes at once. I can't do it. And Evan was just like, I just moved the couch. And I was like,
what is really
it's too
wrong?
much. And I just remember having the biggest breakdown ever, because it was like, now I have to get used to and I didn't realize that this was something that always was there, but now it's magnified because I'm a mom now. Like, small changes, I'll notice them. Like, I know if I put something here, I know where things are. I'm one of those people. I can find stuff with my eyes closed.
That's why I try to tell my kids.
It can be hard. It can be so hard. Like, the time that you wake up, the places you get to go. Now you can't go and do even small adjustments. Like, okay, for my birthday, I'm used to blowing a bag for my birthday. Now it's like, now it's time to be fiscally responsible. Where can I go for $500, me and Evan, and have a really good time? And I'm just like, oh, that's peasant life, but it's like, it's not. You probably I don't start back flying Spirit. Me and Evan had got to a point where we was just like. It was more so Evan, but Spirit is beneath us because it's too janky. Like, they may cancel the flight. You may sit on the plane 2 hours. Yeah. But no, we're going to either fly Southwest, Delta, somewhere where it's guaranteed you're not paying for all the extras and stuff like that. So we had to go to Chicago for a quick funeral. It happened at the last minute. So me and my grandma Pootie, Spirit ticket, and flew right on up. They treat you well because if you have an infant, they give you the stroller, infant in lab, all of that stuff. She didn't do infinite life. I just ended up buying her a ticket. Go to the airport, bought it. I think we flew round trip from Chicago back, the three of us, $100. You can't beat that. Right. I say all of that to say that you can't beat that. So I'm going to stop by Dollar Tree and get the snacks, or Walmart, wherever. We're going to get the snacks. We're going to be on this plane for 2 hours, if that, eat up, sleep, and do our thing. Yeah. But it's the money for me. Like, for me, is mom okay? It's being financially sane. It's having the money. It's having peace of mind, quality of life. When I tell y'all, I am so glad that it's the summer. Now, if we had this conversation 2 weeks ago, I probably would have sat on this couch and cried. All three of us. Okay, that was Mother's Day, so yeah.
I might not even came. I might have walked up in here with no makeup on my face, nothing, like, oh, what's up, y'all? I'm about to air this bitch out. Yep. Everybody. Yep. Because I'm fed up. Yep.
I
But
think
yours
yours
was
is too
hormones.
easy.
Mine was fucking work. Like I'm back. It almost like for me, and that's where I'm trying to deal with myself. Like I feel like I've been broke. I've been poor. I experienced that.
Yeah.
And it's like for some reason God is bringing me back to that humbling to like where it's like, oh, you thought you made it and you was just so big and puffed up and not rich, but you were just a good, close to comfortable. Now, no, you about to experience a little drop real quick. But it's more so my fault. I put myself in the situation. But the humbling is the piece where it's just like, I just need more money.
Mine more so now is also, so my kids are getting older. Those attitudes are, ooh man, a motherfucker. And I had boys, and I didn't think I would have to deal with that so much. But my oldest son, he's so much like me. I'm a very sarcastic person. I'm very like dry joke, very dark joke, and he is exactly like that, and I cannot take it. I don't know how anyone likes me. I don't know how anyone likes me. I have no idea.
We made it.
Because I will look at him and have a conversation with him sometimes like, son, I love you. I love the hell out of you. I would lay down my life for you. But I don't like you sometimes. I don't. His attitude, his entitlement, he's just smart as hell.
What is he, 12, right?
He is 9. He'll be 10 in August. He act like he is.
Does it get better, y'all think? I know we had to the tweens. I really thought, okay, I got with a girl 12, 13, with my boy 16.
I feel like
it could be
themselves?
Yeah.
I feel like it could be the environment that he is as far as school.
Yeah, absolutely.
The kids where we go to school, where we work,
it's
and
normal.
he goes to school at, they're very more mature for their age.
It's like an improper mature though. It's not
for sure.
It's not like you know what, all of y'all could probably sit here and fellowship together
and have solve world hunger or something like that.
It's gonna be World Star reincarnated. Like I think, but see, so I've dealt with. My life is so funny because I'm stuck at the 10, 11, 12-year-olds. Like that's where I've been for the past 6 years. That's who I've dealt with for 180 days. And so what I've seen over the years, the big word that keeps coming up is the apathy, of course. And I think that it's starting to show up on the home front. It used to be who you are at home is coming to school influencing others. And now it's like this, I feel like the school life, because it's so much longer and prevalent, is influencing the home life. Because I'm kind of seeing that same thing with my son. He's only 6, so of course he's Play-Doh at this point. He's super impressionable. But I think from what I'm seeing, it's kind of, especially that entitlement, if the school environment is not, we talked about this, the academics are not great. And so if you are smart or intelligent, and you're pretty much favored. Yep. You're favored. You get to go where you want to go, and nobody's asking you for your hall pass. Yep. And then your teacher's kids, they're definitely not, questioning your behavior or things of that nature. And then it gets mimicked at home. Like, well, I get to do this at school, and then, not in this address. Like,
what's the thing Ayala be saying?
Not gonna be wise. Like, say that shit for at school. But I think, because I know when you talk about like the hormone, I think for me, like, time is what makes me be like, I feel like that fucking rabbit on Alice in Wonderland who's just always like, gotta go. Yeah. And it's so crazy because I'm so not time conscious. And it's like, you got all this shit to do. You got a lot going on. Maybe if you were on time. But, because I don't got to the point now, the amount of naps I've taken in my car, just to sit at baseball practice and and work. Like, I would totally just quit fucking teaching if I didn't have a kid right now. I would quit teaching and be at Walmart greeting folks. Like, I would not think twice about it. I would have been done. Yeah. But the fact that my child has a particular type of lifestyle that he needs to maintain, and the fact that he is an only child, and I am a single parent, I need him to be on the baseball team to stay physically fit. I'm not the most physically fit person. So, and that's kind of a regret I have from childhood. So it's like I have all these things that I do that pack my schedule, that makes me tired as hell. The driving an hour to drop him off so I can go be free for an hour.
Yeah.
But I do all these things in the name of like, I need him to, I'm not okay as far as his schedule goes, for his sake. So I just always feel like Jessie on that one episode saying about him. She's taking the pills and she's like, "There's no time. There's never enough."
Who was taking pills?
I'm
She taking Adderall?
She was taking something on Saved by the Bell,
Oh.
and she was taking the pills, and they was doing a little music video.
I watched Saved by
Did
the
she
Bell
pass
for 2
out?
seconds before school.
She did. She
Yeah.
did. Let me tell y'all something. I'm a Saved by the Bell fanatic. Like, so it was. That's really what it feels like at times. And then sometimes I just say fuck it and like just lay in the bed and be like, well, it is what it is.
I feel like that is so needed to just have days where you are literally just like, fuck it. Whatever it is that we have to do today, it's probably not gonna get done. It's probably not. Like I used to be such a stickler on housework in my house. That's how I grew up. If my house was not a certain way on Sunday afternoon by about 4:00, then I was gonna have an attitude for the rest of the night and be sweating from the eyeballs until it was that way. But I've become giving myself so much more grace. Because it doesn't fucking matter. And it's gonna be right back that way. By Friday. By Tuesday. By Tuesday. I guarantee you my house is gonna be right back that way.
Who's a helper though? Somebody gotta be helping. One of them kids or your husband?
It's my husband now.
Okay, good.
It's my husband. I can remember the last like month or two, he's been doing all the laundry. Shout out to you, babe. Shout out to you. He's been doing all of the laundry. Helping me with the kids more. I be looking at myself like, I don't know who this nigga is. He was not this man in the first place. Like in the beginning, we had very gender related roles. And so it was like, okay, at one point he was making more money than I was. He still does, but it was much more. So I would kind of take on the role of cleaning more. But I still was working. So it was putting a real damper on me. But I think that he's more in tune to now, okay, I have the time. I can help her. I want to help her. I see how much better she is when the load is taken off of her. So let me do that. So yeah, he is. That's my helper right now. For real.
No.
I don't know.
Are you advocating for yourself or at least being transparent with him about stuff though?
I have been.
Good.
I have been after the fact, after I'm able to sit and look at myself and be like, why was I like that? Even if I know that he knows that I have an attitude, I'll still apologize for it. Like,
Good.
It's not you. I apologize for having the attitude. But it's just some stuff I'm going through. You just gotta bear with it.
But that's big. Even if you don't know what's going on with you, you have to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like them saying everything that they said there. It was really good to be transparent and talk about their emotions in the space that they're in. I think we have to, no matter what, get into a space where we're talking about what's going on, and even if we don't know what's going on. I think too, I like to dibble back between like what's the difference between the older generation and us, or like our parents and stuff. I know my mama had a whole lot of shit going on, and all I saw was her either dealing with the shit or avoiding the shit.
Yeah. Not
necessarily her healing from it. Now she's healing, and I'm seeing how she treats my kids, and I'm just like,
who is
they
this
got
person?
a fucking Mercedes Benz? I couldn't even get a fucking scooter. What?
Who is this person?
But it's I'm glad that she's healing. So it's like, even is mom okay as far as our moms, like, because that's a big thing too. Like sometimes we have to even check in on them and see how they're
or raise
doing,
them,
grandmas or aunties, girls,
or raise them,
girl.
That's a whole nother topic.
Because I was talking to my aunt and I'm just like, no, like y'all say grandma used to get abused, and mom was abusive. Like it's generational. And my aunt saw it somewhere else and was just like, remember when you were talking about like that generational abuse thing? Somebody just said it on TV, and I'm like,
Girl.
no, that's a real life concept. Like
Sure.
everybody's talking generational trauma and breaking generational curses. Like it's just hard when it's you're the one that's doing it. And I think that's the task that I have upon me. And I remember taking it on in college, like, nah, I'm gonna be the one that's gonna make a difference. I'm gonna get all of these degrees and accolades. I always tie a lot of my stuff into finances. So it's like as long as we're rich or comfortable, it's a certain type of lifestyle. But then it's like, no, like what about that anxiety? Yeah. What about depression? Yeah. What about physical trauma, sexual trauma? What about all of these other things that may have gone on in the family that now you're learning about it? Okay, what are you gonna do to help, or what are you gonna do to make a difference? Or, it's just a whole lot of motherfucking shit. Yeah. And that's a huge burden for me too, is breaking generational curses, because I literally last night, this is why I gotta take the test. But I got really upset because I needed my mom and them to watch the kids for me, and then I asked at the last minute, but they were like, no. So I got really angry with them. I'm trying to mend a relationship.
Did we all do that?
I think we all had the same situation getting here today. Yeah,
but they're with their dad right now, so it's like he stepped up, he did his thing. But my mom and them been gone the whole week. So this week, like I said, the kids was sick, and I had something going on. Like the daycare called me one day and was like, "Big boy just won't stop crying." I don't have sick time. If I take off from work,
ma'am, it's a critical day. Can you get off my phone?
Like for real. So I'm explaining.
At this point, do y'all got Tylenol on the premises? Give him some.
And that's what I said. So they were like, "You got to sign something. Where the paper at?"
Well, email it to me, baby. Email it to me.
Where is the paper? He just won't stop crying. I said, but I probably before he left the house. I said, son, if you didn't want to go to daycare, you should have just told us. You didn't want to. But anyways, my mom is right up the street from my job. So had they been in town, it would have been nothing to be like, yep, you want to go to my house today. Yeah. Or mom, can one of y'all go pick big boy up, blah, 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 blah. Like, when I tell you I've gotten so dependent on them, so not having them was just like, now I need y'all for real all day Sunday, and me and man supposed to be doing something tonight. Like, I need y'all, and then it's like they're not there, so I'm just like, fuck. So Pootie something happened, but she just got her hair braided, and she had the shower cap in the water playing with it. So I went off on Pootie, but she was like, baby did it. And I was like, there has been a couple times I snapped on Pootie, and it was the baby. So now I got to get with him, too, to let him know, like, now you getting Pootie in trouble.
Congratulations.
I just walked out the room, and I was like, no, my mama would have did some shit like that, and I didn't like when my mama did shit like that. At least I ain't beat her, but at the same time, too, I don't want to present like her. Brooklyn, why the fuck are you really upset? What's really going on? Let's sit down and process.
Yeah. I've been trying to control my emotions a little better because y'all know I'm a cursor, and I
kids cuss, so of course you go.
Well, I'm some of the kids at work. I understand them. They cuss too. Yeah, but like so with Aaron, and what's so funny is everybody say, I don't even know why you yell at him. I'm a yelling, I'm a cursor, and they're like, I don't even know why you yell at him because he's so unfazed. Like he's so unfazed. He's either gonna cry or completely just be like. So anyway, and like he's so unfazed, but my thought has always been like, but I didn't whoop your ass. I didn't give you a whipping, and it's like, yeah, Phlycia, but you also just took a simple sentence of like, please don't do that again. And now you're out here. Did you lose your fucking mind? Like like it's. And I think one of the things I know I definitely struggle with is that he's so intelligent that when he does stuff, I forget he's only 6, and I'm like. I know you know, but like my purse, I came here today and there's lip gloss all up. I am gonna whip his ass for that, but okay, he won't get a whipping. But just stuff like why did you do that? Like I tell him a lot of times I don't like sneaky stuff, and I have found that when I take the time to stop and be like, why am I going off about this? Because he gonna bring you back up. He brings you back up, and remember, remember. You were yelling this morning, and so to say that I had a moment. Was that this semester?
It was.
But I had a moment where, and this is one of those things I was like, if you just never talk about it again, you'll be okay, right?
Yeah.
But but I had a moment where work was dogpiling, and life was dogpiling, And I know I called him in there to blow his nose. We're getting dressed 5 o'clock in the freaking morning. And I called him in there to blow his nose. And he was acting like he didn't know how to blow his nose. But it's not acting. He literally just doesn't know how to blow his nose. Like, so, I'm like, just have the snot come out. You won't be fucking sick. Like, I'm like, that's how it works. You blow
You
it
don't know
out.
how to blow?
He can't, I don't know. But he just, like, so now I'm just like, but I've been known this. This is not the first time.
That would drive me crazy too.
And because you're status, and I'm like, just, so, because the alternative is to blow in your mouth. And I'm absolutely going to get sick when I do that. And I don't have the time to get sick. So I got so upset with him. I just was like, get the fuck out of it. Like, literally talked to him like he was some random nigga on the street. And I scared him so bad that he like completely froze up. And I thought it was a regular thing. I went on about my day. I got in the car. So this is like 10 minutes later. I got in the car. Well, I thought the interaction was over. I didn't know that there was going to be like an emotional pushback. I got in the car and like 30 minutes went by. And we just said we weren't going to cry today.
It's okay. It's okay.
I got in the car and I had to call my co-teacher, her best friend, and I was like, I'm in the car, been in the car for 30 minutes. I have not moved out the parking spot. And she's like, so you're going to be late? And I was telling her what happened. And I was like, I don't know. I said, something's wrong. Because I've never reacted to him like that. And it scared the living shit out of me. Because I remember grabbing him. And it was within that moment, this is how people end up on the news. For not having emotional control for a split second.
Yeah.
And I still went to work that day because I knew if I didn't go to work, they literally, I thank God for them because everybody was like, we'll come to Camp Creek and get you from Glenwood. We'll come get him. You stay at home. But I knew if I stayed at home and sat in it, it was only going to bother me. And then I just went to work. I cried pretty much the whole day while at work. And they would tell you, I'm not really a crier. I'm more of a cry because I can't, lay my hands on you type of individual out of anger. Mm-hmm. But in that moment, I even talked to my principal who, we didn't have that type of relationship. And I was like, yeah, this is too much. And I ended up unpacking it to be that my main issue was the day before we had a parent meeting at the school. And just seeing the parents, seeing and hearing the parents just be like, oh, y'all are not doing this, y'all are not doing that. It felt like a personal attack on my parenting. Okay. Even though I didn't give birth to none of their damn kids.
Right.
But it felt like a personal attack on my parenting because I was absolutely neglecting my standard of care for my child in the name of taking care of these fucking kids. Yeah. And then for you to get your ass in here and to say what's not happening, what's not being done, I just lost it. And it really upset me that I lost it on my kid. I feel like if I would have went to work and lost it, it probably would not have. I probably would have been like, yeah, so let me tell y'all how I got fired. That would have just, right? They love a scandal.
Yeah.
So but it bothered me so bad. And I knew it really bothered me because the person I called right after I talked to Casey, I called my mom. And, I already knew because my mom is, I love her, but she's dramatic. And so I already knew, as soon as I called her, it was going to be a thing. And so she just was like, so you'll have to go ahead and cry about it. She's like, stop trying to hold it back. Go ahead and cry. And tell him you're sorry. Mm-hmm. Mean it when you say it.
Yeah.
And move on. She's like, it's not going to be the last time. It should not be this bad the next time. And I just was like, and I think that moment kind of reset me. Or at least another 5 years, hopefully. But I think that's been a thing. Because I've been a single mom since I learned that I was pregnant. So for me, it was just years of found I'm pregnant, hit the ground rolling, we got to go. Oh, you're doing this alone? Hit the ground rolling, we got to go. The first year, I was living overdraft to overdraft. So, I was hit the ground rolling, got to make some shape. We got to move, hit the ground. Pandemic, got to hit the ground rolling. And I never took the time to really stop and be like, well, this is the problem. Mm-hmm. This is why you feel the way you feel. And so I think that's why when you say that infant, are you okay? Versus a toddler, are you okay? I thank God one of the things with my son is he can absolutely read when something is wrong. and he backs off. He backs off. So even in that moment, he looked at me like, "You do know you just fucked up, right?" And I think his face within itself is what made me go like, "Yeah, that was too far. That was too far." Because literally, like, I was like, "You don't understand. Blow your fucking nose," and like pushed him. And I was like, "Phlycia, all I want to take is for him to fly into that wall, and now you have a whole like." And I know if anybody else was on interaction, they would have probably been like, "It's not that, girl. I mean, we all have a moment. It's not that bad." But for me, I've never. And she'll tell you, I threaten to whoop his ass almost every day. But I've never, reacted to him that way. I've never interacted with him that way. Like I'm a cursor. I will not. If somebody was ever be like, "Your language is ridiculous with him," I would not argue against it.
Yeah.
But putting my hands on him and just, looking like a bully to a 6-year-old, that was not normal. And I think that moment and responding to that moment and reacting to that moment is kind of what reset me to be like, yeah, I think I am okay now. Like,
yeah,
but that's when I was like, yeah,
I feel like even that in itself, you were probably getting out things that you had held in.
Been that other nigga. Yeah.
That you held in for a long time. But it took that moment for things to kind of click in your head for you to be like, okay, why am I reacting to it? Why did it even take for me to even get this way? And you be like, okay, let's backtrack. Let's figure out why.
Yeah.
I feel like even that. I feel like sometimes I feel like things just have to build up, and for a lot of people they do. In a lot of situations, especially with moms, because you may not be able to express yourself how you want to. It may not even be the person that you're talking to at that time that you want to express yourself to, or you want to take that anger out on. But backtracking, I do it all the time. Why am I this way?
But it's good. At least we don't stay stuck, and we don't, because the moments where I find myself, okay, yeah, I cussed at them. So what? I'm about to start cussing at them. Or yeah, I popped her this time. I'm about to start whooping ass. To me, it's a slippery slope to words. If you accept that behavior and you think that it's okay with it, that's how when we turn into our parents and we become them. And then when the kids get our age, they're gonna be on podcast talking about
breaking generational curses. Another generation.
No, for real. Like it's good that we at least have those moments, because of course that's mommy guilt. We gonna discipline them, and we gonna come to face ourselves and be like, okay, too hard this time, or okay, maybe I didn't do enough this time, or okay, I should have been there. It's definitely gonna be some shit regardless. But those moments where you can at least face yourself and explore and dig deep, and I wouldn't be surprised too if you called your mama kind of for chastisement a little bit, because you knew you was wrong. So it was like, now let me call the one who ain't gonna cut no slack off on me. That's gonna be like, no, I'm holding you accountable. You fucked up.
Yeah, that's like I know. First of all, I know she'll play about her baby. So I was kind of, I feel like when I called her in that moment, I was also looking for like reassurance of like, okay, yeah, that's human. Like, I don't know. I kind of want her to be like, one time we threw your ass across the room. Look at you, you're okay. Like, it's fucked up that we have to like look for that. But honestly, and I told y'all before, I'm a social media sharer, and so even people, especially following me on Twitter, might be looking at this and be like, what? Because that just was something that never, like, you're probably the fourth person in life, that I've told. And just because I'm not, I'm an oversharer. But that moment, I feel like if anybody else would have shared that moment with me, I would have, whether it was internally or not, absolutely judged. Like,
yeah,
girl, like, you may need to chill the fuck out. Like that, I would never, And it's like that. I tell you all the time, never say never. Being a mom has taught me that 100%. Never say never. I never thought I'd be around here having a 6-year-old tell me what he gonna eat for dinner, what he not gonna eat. I never thought that, because I just knew I was gonna like raise him whooping ass.
Yep.
But he's gotten some whoopings. I believe in whoopings.
Yep.
He's gotten some whoopings, but that's probably 2 or 3 in his life, because I feel like he sometimes needs to reset it, understand, like, you are a roommate here in this household. You don't actually have your name on anything.
Yep.
But I think overall, I don't want to raise. I absolutely don't want to raise him the way that I grew up. And this comes from somebody who had a pretty decent upbringing. I grew up in a neutral family, a standard, parents and 3 kids. We didn't have steps and halves and all of that. Married parents, but I grew up seeing my parents like on some WWE type shit. Like everything was solid with lay hands. You don't like what the person said? Lay hands. Like, we're gonna over talk and we're gonna talk loud. And I knew I didn't want that kind of partner in life, but it wasn't until I had a kid. And I was like, yeah, I don't, like, even my parents still argue and fight. As soon as they get started, let's go, Aaron. I'm not, because I grew up in this shit. You don't have to.
Yep.
You don't have, and that's why I tell a lot of people, I just told somebody yesterday about the whole co-parenting shit. Does it suck being a single parent? Absolutely. On stuff like this. Like, I could have just left him, with his dad or whoever. But I do like the fact that I don't have to discuss what to do with my child with anybody else. Sometimes it sucks because I don't have anybody to discuss what to do with my child.
Yeah.
But for the most part, as far as arguing about just shit that I grew up seeing that, like down to how did you spend the $20? I don't want to do that. I don't. I'm not gonna say I don't worry about finances because your girl is broke. Make sure the mic is on. The girl is broke. But
are you accepting donations?
It is, and it are
always.
But I do like the fact that I have control of the finances, the how stuff is going to get spent, and that provides a little bit more peace of mind. Because one thing I'm trying to do for sure, I've always been taught, you don't live outside of your means, and that helps me. That helps me to understand, like, if nothing else, that rent gonna be paid, and that car note and car insurance is together, because we gotta have somewhere to live, and we gotta be able to get around.
Yeah,
and there might not be gas in it, but but the car note is paid, and so things like that kind of it's just me, and so I've had no choice but to hunker down and be like, this gonna be in order, that's gonna be in order. And so even with the emotional shit, it's crazy. I feel like my emotions be looking for shit to be like jumbled up about. Like I would be crying. I'd be crying over a nigga I don't even like. I'm just like, I ain't cried in a minute.
Making up fake scenario. Are y'all one of those fake scenarios?
100%.
I've always been that way though.
I feel like I am psychotic.
I have
with the
killed
fake scenarios
who are not
I come up with in my. I have cried off of fake scenarios. I'm a psychopath for real.
You talking about full blown snot red?
Like,
how
can you do this to me?
Don't have a dream about it.
Because baby, there's some truth to it. Where there is smoke, there is fire.
See,
girl, I had a dream and fucked somebody else, and I woke up sick to my stomach.
How could you?
2 days I was sick, and I was just like, yeah, you fucked my girl in your dream. I'm straight on you there my day, my boy. I can't even
see.
No, you did it. No. But yeah, I remember being a kid like, you're 30 minutes late. Why are they not here yet? In a car accident somewhere. Oh, it's probably really bad too. They'll probably be rushed to the emergency. Like I remember having those pictures, and that's when it was like I talked to my pediatrician. I'm not a pediatrician. I talked to my doctor, primary care, and I'm just like, no. So there was this time where Evan moved the living room furniture set. There used to be times where I would sit and think worst possible cases is going on. Like we came home yesterday. Evan didn't cut on the alarm when he left the house because we left separately. You didn't cut on the alarm, so now there has to be a burglar in the house. So I'm checking every room. I'm like, should I just get the gun and just sit the gun out? I can't sit the gun out because the kids gonna come play with the gun, and then I would justify that. Then I put them in the tub, and I just run downstairs real quick. They probably up there just floating around.
Jesus
Christ! And I'm just be like, I rebuke it. Like you should see me because I would really well be like this.
The
like,
amount of wood I knock on. I swear. I'd be like, yeah, because if he's real sidebar. There was a question on Twitter earlier where somebody was like, if you had to pay $8,000 a month for child support, the kid is 5, 18 or something. It was like, can't you just pay $1 million something up front? I was like, what if the kid dies at 10? Do you get a refund? Like, and it was just like, why the fuck is that? Like,
Valid
why
question.
is that?
Something that's
But
even going through your head.
But see,
The
at least
amount
your
of
scenarios
attitudes
Valid question.
are attached to like what's happening. My scenarios of that would like evoke crazy emotions had nothing to do with nobody. Like when I'm not serious, like they always happen in the bathroom. When I'm in the bathroom too long, like I'll be sitting on the toilet and I just be like,
maybe when I'm laying on
damn.
my back, I don't sleep
at
with
such
them.
and such funeral, I'm gonna cry like this, and it was just. It's so horrible. It's so horrible.
Come on, man. Practice your image.
I swear. Do not let me get in the mirror. Do not let me get in the mirror. I'm just like, I would have scenarios about getting cheated on. I got now inch of a man. Like it would. My favorite karaoke song is Superwoman by Karen White. And I sing that bitch like I'm married. And he just done me dirty. You can't tell me that I'm not. So, but my scenarios would not be no type. You don't even know the person that you're crying over. He don't exist. The limit is not.
Rent a center.
Like, the amount of people who are like, fuck.
A life update where
right? Gabe, if you're out there, I am now single. I wasn't completely single the last time we met.
it's a
I
wrap.
am now single.
What's up, Gabriel?
If he's still there. He can't still be there.
He might not be there. In that case, you can say, where you at? It's free. It's been hell about 10 years at this point. Listen.
He might be a store manager, a franchise.
You know what? No.
Y'all got some furniture though.
No, listen.
That's what you never got to worry
I
about.
do need a new washing machine. Yeah. Ooh.
And he'll drop it off.
Yes, he would drop all things off. So
Yeah.
Apparently, what you about? Apparently,
nothing now.
Look, mama will be okay then.
Man, you know, but no, seriously, I think that on a serious note, I think that was not discussed is because I know you talked about like the hormonal imbalance caused by medication, but just even like the hormonal imbalance just from having the damn kids. Like when I tell you, I'll never forget, I had some pink ass Beats headphones. Mm-hmm. So this is like 2018. And Aaron has this really weird cry. He sounds like he's laughing. Like it's always been the case. He's always sounded like he's laughing when he cries. And I remember at one point he just was crying and crying and crying. I was like, you know, I'm just put the fucking headphones on. He's safe. He's not moving nowhere. Like just. And after like a good 10 seconds, I was like, this is neglect. I'm gonna go to jail. And I would have like all these different emotions. Like I would just be like, fuck everybody. Do you guys want to come over? Like it would be all over the place. And then I was still trying to, you know, I would call, bless that man's heart. No, don't bless his heart. I don't like him. But I would call the guy who gave me the other half of his jeans and would be like, you know, oh, he's up. So I'm calling you because you need to be up. And, you know, at this point, he's an hour behind. And so he would just kind of be like, Phlycia, what the fuck can I do for you from Tennessee? And I'm like, I don't know. But he's up, which means I'm up, which means your ass gonna be up. And it was just, when I tell you I was so bitter and so angry, Erin didn't, and she was happy. Erin is a smiley, happy-go-lucky ass kid. Erin did not smile the first like 3 months of being alive. He would just have this straight look like.
That's not funny.
Like it was like a smirk, just like I don't know what the hell everybody else had to go. When I finally April 2018, I said, I tell you what, you don't want to do, you're done. Don't worry about it. And I finally like let that go. That's when Aaron turned into the person that he is. And I that's why I say it's so crazy that he can feel like he can feel when I'm like bullshitting on my emotions. Like my feelings are hurt. Like you crying over a nigga girl anyway when we eat chicken nuggets. You know. But if it's something like that's truly like bothering me, or I'm having that seasonal moment, he's just like, Mommy, are you okay? And now he do this little thing like, do you need a back rub? We'll be in the middle of Walmart. And he's like trying to lift my shirt up. got my lower roll showing and shit because he's trying to rub my back.
What?
And I'm like,
all of
Somebody
Sam
good
Hill
man.
is going on here.
He's gonna be a good man.
he's such a sweetheart. He means
I
well.
love that.
He just talks a lot.
It's always in
But
there.
it's
Always
just
there.
the two. So aside
Yeah.
from growing them inside of you, and
Yeah.
aside from always being spiritually
attached.
attached to them, it's literally just the two of y'all. Like he can't be distracted if he wanted to.
Yeah.
There's nobody else in the house.
He
to focus
doesn't
on.
even like to stay other places. Like today, he's like, so what time are you there? You know, I'm like, it should be like 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10ish when I see it. Like,
Is that a Capricorn thing?
I'm starting
Because
to
big boy
think.
the same way.
I
It's
started
7:30. It's looking like we're not leaving.
I am. I am that way. I am.
You a Capricorn?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
See.
y'all.
December 22nd.
Yeah, it's y'all.
Now he's very much so like you said. So I was telling her he's learned about cemeteries just recently. Every time we pass one, he's like, there's the place where the people go who died and were murdered. Like he's adding that
Who
on.
told him that?
But I have no idea. You know, like he did it to my mom. My mom just bust out laughing because you know he's like, that's where my auntie is. You know, he knows like that my sister passed, and he's like, that's where my
Sorry for your
auntie
loss.
is. Oh, thank you. It's been about 5 years, so
Still.
that's why it's so awkward that he's even like, that's where my auntie is. I'm like, dude, you like a year and a half when she
They
passed.
be more in touch with the other side.
Yeah, I'm
People
noticing.
believe. Yeah.
I'm
My
noticing.
nephew
He got her whole
has been
personality.
laughing all weekend. Like he's been
Oh,
laughing
it's
all
absolutely
weekend
yeah.
Why?
at random things.
Oh, okay.
Like if there could be nobody around, he's like going ballistic. I have a video. I'll show it to you.
How old is he?
He's one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the angels talk to babies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, he is just like
Imaginary friend. I'm like, what is it called? He probably got an imaginary friend.
Yeah.
I had one. They say I used to talk my
my
mouth off to
sister. My sister had one. She used to talk about how she could see this black angel that was standing in the corner, and she was big and she had on a hood and she had wings. She would talk about her all the time. And I remember my mom, like vividly, one time said that she had said it. She was like, she's standing right behind you, and she like got chills over her. Like, girl, I'll put you in that fucking angel out of this house. Don't worry.
Please.
Aaron tried to call himself having one, and I definitely was like, listen.
Why you gonna talk about?
Mama's scared, baby. Don't do
I didn't know.
that.
I told him. I was like, everybody who lives here, name is on the lease. His name not on the lease. Her name or whoever it is. And he was like, but mommy, I said, no.
She's not welcome here.
You're not allowed to have whatever that is. I can't. Which is why I kind of want to go see the Imaginary Friends movie that just came out. I think is it? Yeah,
The
it's not
scary one?
I don't think it's scary. I don't think it's.
There was a
It's
scary
kids
one that
movie.
came out.
It's like
okay.
a purple something.
Oh, okay.
But it's supposed to be like a kids movie, but it has like that adult aspect. I think he never got rid of his imaginary friends. Something along
Okay.
those lines. But I wanted to go see that because my main reason for not like a scary movie or I don't like scary movies, but not doing the whole imaginary friend thing is that movie. There's a movie. There was an imaginary friend who lived inside of a box. He was
Drop Dead Fred. Drop Dead Fred. That was one of my favorites with the accent.
That movie scared
You didn't like Drop Dead
living shit out of me.
Fred?
That movie
With
scared
the little girl and
living shit out of me. That's the reason I don't do imaginary friends. I'm like, absolutely not.
Really?
Because he was on crazy shit.
He was
That
wild.
that was the original imaginary friend
He
movie.
was
Like
wild.
she didn't get rid of him.
Yeah.
She got
That's what I thought you was talking about. But you said
yeah. This one just came out. So now I'm thinking that they might have big from that. But it's called
Probably.
If. And it's about but it's like a furry. But Drop Dead Fred was a person. So I couldn't. Stuff that's too realistic.
My mom said when I don't know if I was 2 or 3 when her sister passed away. Her sister passed away at 19, so my mama had to been 22. So she said I was about 2 or 3, and I was like sitting on the porch talking. My mom said, "Who you talking to?" And I was like, "Auntie Trixie." And she said, like it caught her off guard. She went boohoo, came back, and she was like, "All right, come on, Brooklyn, we're going to the funeral." And I was like, "Come on, Auntie Trixie, we're going to your funeral." And my mama said she just cried and cried. And the whole time I'm talking. And my grandma said that night she was sitting on the porch and she was looking up in the sky. She just buried her child. So, of course, she emotional. I came out and I was like, Grandma Auntie Tracy told me to tell you that she okay. There she go up there. She in the sky. And it always used to make me emotional thinking about like that's something that I carry. Like whenever I used to do stuff, I always used to think Auntie Tracy watching me. Like that was God for the longest period of time. Like I can't be fucking around. I can't do this. I can't. Like Auntie Tracy is really watching me.
Yeah.
And even when I get scared or I have moments, I'd be like, you know what? Auntie Tracy's still here. She taking care of my kids. Like I've always believed in her. Like I've known her to always be my guardian angel. She's gonna continue to do so and continue to be so. But even just on that level, like your child having a whole spiritual awakening or things like, because I couldn't handle that. Yeah, no, there's no way possible that. No.
I think that's so funny that you say that, because so my dad just recently was in the ICU. So we're talking like 2 weeks or so, 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So that was your rough
literally. But see, that's the thing though. In my family, I don't really get to be the one who like gets to feel these things. So it was literally like, okay, so when's the appointment? We hit the ground rolling. Like that's just always my personality. But my when it happened, my first thought was, and I don't usually cry about this, but my first thought was like, okay, first of all, he cannot fucking die, and first of all, it's my sister. So she's always my go-to. When my fucking gallbladder erupted, I was like, girl, talk to God for him. Tell him I don't want to feel his pain. You know, like, I don't know. I just feel like she can hear me. And that, like, she up there with God, like, so listen. You know? But I...
Speaking on your hair.
Like, listen, tell him I know what I was doing, but hear me. But Aaron had the same... My sister's picture hangs in my car as an air freshener. And Aaron had the same moment when we first moved to East Point. So this is like 2021. At this point, he couldn't have been. He might have just turned 4 or something. And he that said the same thing. It was like, oh, she said, he like was just repeating like she said something. I don't even remember what he was saying. She said, because I remember who was she? Because again, I'm like, we talked about him like friends. And I was like, she said, and so he go, her. And I'm like, we was parked at the house. I'm like, looking around the air pressure like, her. Where she at? And he's like, her. She said, and I remember I called my mama so damn fast. Like, I think Aaron's talking to Francois, and he said something about, and I just was like, well, what else did she say to you? And I remember Aaron just was like, the same thing. It was like, she said, it's okay. It's all good. It's okay. It's all good. And I was like, and the crazy thing about it is when Aaron was 4, he was very hard to understand. He's always been a talker, but for some reason, at like 3 and 4, he had this lapse in language where he was hard to understand. People would be like, what did he say? And I'm like, I speak fucking English. Why would I know what he said? But he was very clear. She said, it's all good. It's okay. It's all good. And he kept saying that. And one of the things that my sister would always say is, because at the end of the day, and so he just was like, because it's the end of the day. It's the end of the day. And I just was like, this is fucking weird. Tell her to stop playing. Like, you know, and it just, because one of the things that I worried about, my sister died very abruptly. She wasn't sick. It wasn't a car crash or anything. She literally, well, she was sick with a common cold, but she literally did Elvis Presley shit. Went to the bathroom and croaked over. Like, just, I don't know. She was, 5 years ago, she's 30 now, so she was 33. No known health issues or nothing. And I always tell myself, because it ended up finding out she had like blood clots in her lungs or whatever. It was just one of those things they were like, the only way it would have been prevented is if she went to a doctor and said, hey, can you check my lung for blood clots? Which nobody.
I bet I do that.
Nobody, right? Like nobody thinks to do that.
Yeah.
And so I always tell myself, because this was June 30th. So she's coming up on the 5 years, but this is June 30th, 2019. And I always tell myself, I feel like God knew that this pandemic shit was coming and that it wasn't going to be a pretty way of her leaving. So we got that because my mother's mother had just passed the end of April. So she lost her mother the end of April and then lost her daughter, her firstborn, the end of June.
Oh, wow.
So, like with my mom, but I guess that's why I just was like, gotta hit the ground, gotta keep rolling because she was no good. And then, the men in my family, they've been conditioned that somebody else is going to handle it. So, and with my dad, it was my first time in my life ever seeing my dad cry. Because my mom and my dad had her when she was a teenager, when they were teenagers. So she raised them, they raised her, they all grew up together. And so, and of course it's your firstborn, it's abrupt. And it was just a very interesting time. And I never got to digest the feelings and emotions from that because I was the person who had to do CPR, which God forbid I ever have to do CPR on anybody ever again. It's just not.
Your sister?
Yeah. So literally, I'm the one like y'all. There's no pulse. I haven't watched Chicago Med, heavy as fuck. So she hasn't had air. She hasn't breathed in over 8 minutes. I knew she was dead when the paramedics came, but they don't declare till they get to the hospital, and it was just. That literally, we rushed to the hospital, behind the paramedics. I parked my car, literally got in there. Whole ass didn't even hit the chair. They was like, "Can you come to the room with us?" My mom asked, "What are we going to the room for?" I said, "If all the doctors are here today, nobody's working on her, so that's it. That was a wrap." And it was just like, what the fuck? Like when I tell you, not even 4 hours ago, we was having a conversation about what you want for Popeyes. Like it was so abrupt. So I never got to digest any of that. I had to plan the funeral. I had to, put together whatever. I had to, next year the pandemic hit, I had to take care of my parents. I had to take care of my brother. I had to take care of my kids still. And so I feel like this year I was just now getting to like settle down. And like now some of the stuff is coming off my plate. And so I say that to say, when people talk about being okay, as a mom, I think about the motherly things we do that's not necessarily for our child. So when you talk about like your parents, your siblings, I teach. So being a mother figure to others. I have some kids who, and Lord knows those kids are not the best group this year, but I have some kids who I am concerned for, over the summer because I know school is what. Yeah. Lord, and they so nosy they watch this because they see it on her page. Right. And so I know they're gonna be wondering like, who's she talking about? But I
share with your mama kids.
Right. Let her see, So I worry about some of them because I know, they're not going home to a great, summer. So but it is what it is. I can't. If I worried about them, I've taught over 1,000 children in my career. I'd be tired as hell worried about all of them. So.
But it's good you still care because I think of that and it's just the thought of that just makes me so exhausted. And I think maybe that's what it is. Maybe I've become a little apathetic in that regard because we had a little girl come to find out she was violated by a family member over Christmas break, and everybody say. She has not been the same child since Christmas break. Oh, wow. She walks the hall nonstop. She cuss out any and everybody who's in the way or try to redirect her, anything like that. And my thing is, so what are we going to do with her? Like, I get she has all of these things going on, but realistically, can we find a mental health institution and maybe just have the kids that's struggling, let them do therapy all day and then classes when they got it. And if they don't have it for the whole damn day, at least stay with stress balls and bouncing around. Like, give them something that she can't be in this academic environment with everybody else because now they think it's okay to cuss teachers out. And they think it's okay to act however and do whatever. And it's like, I want to be empathetic so bad for those kids and understand and get it. But it's like, that shit, boy, it's nothing that boils my blood more than it's like, y'all see crisis going on. What the fuck are we doing besides sitting here chilling? She can't get a 504. We can't get somebody to give her some medicine or some help or some. Grandma, is she going to therapy? Like, what's going on? She don't want to talk to nobody. She mad at the world. So
there's no preventative or reactive measures, man. That we used to have at least reactive measures because Lord knows it's never been preventative. Right. But I think now they step back from even the reactive measures. And honestly, I feel like it's a ploy to be able to say, well, that's why she is that way. And I honestly feel it's absolutely an injustice to her. But it borderlines neglect. Like,
I
you
feel
know,
like
some therapy.
you know that she's
is
not
involved
supposed to
there.
be in that kind of environment. Why is she here? Why is she able to do these things? It's not helping her.
She's one though of maybe. And it's funny because I talked to different staff members and I didn't go in judging. I went in observing and asking questions.
Yeah.
So I'll say, so how common is it that kids just get up and walk out of class and, oh, you got about 3 of them in every class?
And that's the thing, it's a surplus.
She one of maybe 2 in that class. And one of the teachers he went by, he would look, he said, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Oh, here go this. Yep, 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, so what are we really doing here? Like, because it's an epidemic. It's a crisis. It's a crisis. They say Oakville Elementary School is just wow, crazy. They said we got 3 feeder elementary schools, and the kids from Oakville are like the rotten apples that's rotten in the other kids. And my thing is, so what services do they need? What do we need to do to help them? Was it better?
Did it hit home?
No. I when that school first opened, I'm like, oh, that's a pretty school.
Yeah, they
and I'm thinking Saratoga Lakes was gonna tear that school up.
I did my first 5 years there. I taught
5 years.
My first 5 years. My first year was fourth grade writing. I distinctly remember there was a lockdown at dismissal. There was a kid who came into school the next day. She was a walker. The only people who had been dismissed to go home were walkers. And then there was a random lockdown. And you know, lockdown during dismissal means there's real shit going on.
Yeah.
Because if nothing else, we're going to get you home.
Yeah.
Right. And that's they don't have many car riders and stuff. It's a bunch of bus riders because it covers a lot of the space. And she came in the next day. She had on the same clothes that she went home in. And she came in and she said, Miss Mohana, I ain't do my homework. I was like, okay, well, you know, me being me, well, I guess that's it. You know, and she's like, when we went home yesterday, like, my dad got shot in the head. And I was like, what you mean? Like, that, like, I didn't know what to say besides what you mean. Like, that was pretty fucking clear cut.
Yeah.
And she's like, my dad got shot in the head. And, yeah. So I didn't get to do my homework. Can I do it right now? Like, that's all she cared about was like, when I tell you, and I think like somebody asked me the other day about them, and I thank God because that particular group of kids should be like college freshmen, sophomores at this point. And that particular year, I told my principal I was gonna quit teaching. My first year, I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna quit. I got a permanent scar on my arm from the kid who like slammed my arm in the door and drug it. That was the first time it was the first and only time I've ever had a child steal from me. And not know, I stole candy. Like, buddy took the whole purse, phone, all of that. Fourth graders, I dealt with a lot of stuff. But your boy was my teammate.
Who?
One of my current teammates was my teammate back then. And I told my principal I was going to quit teaching. I ended up switching to kindergarten. I remember I cried like I don't want to teach no fucking kindergarten. I did not want to teach kindergartners. I got to kindergarten my first year, fell in love with it. I feel like if I would still be teaching kindergartners, that I probably would not be talking about quitting, in all honesty. But I did 2 years there, and then I ended up getting switched to 5th grade. While on maternity leave. That's another story for another day. And so while I was there, and I was put on maternity leave because the incoming class, and some of these babies follow me on Instagram, and they know damn well who I'm talking about. But the incoming class was the 4th graders coming to 5th grade were so horrible. There was nobody on the team to be on the 5th grade team. And that incoming group was so horrible. By September, we had a team of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teachers. That incoming group, by September, all of us wanted to quit. So that was a team. I told you we had the dancer who would go back home on the weekend. She was like, fuck this. We had one teacher. She was a preacher's wife. I love her. She walked around with a resignation letter in her purse because at any given moment, those kids were stabbing each other with pencils, lighting bathrooms on fire. It was. But when I tell you, that was the best class of kids I ever had. the crazy thing about it was we took the whole grade level. My AP at the time, our current behavior specialist wife, my AP at the time, she was like, that's what's wrong with the school. These people are coming from there. But my AP at the time was like, what are we going to do about this? I was the only person on the team that was from this. She had brought all middle school teachers to this team. And she was like, what are we going to do about it? I said, I tell you what, which is why I didn't do that this year. I said, I tell you what, we got the rosters from every class. We had 150 kids. I said, we're going to take the top 31 problems and put them in one room. That's my class. I put all of them jokers in my class. Every problematic student on the grade level was in my class. And I told them, we ain't going to learn shit until we learn how to act. And so me, my culture teacher at the time, which I'm not going to say what I want to say about her because I feel like she follows me, but whatever, she know how she was absent. But we literally spent every day. I had this one little girl, Jade. Jade would come into class. We had to stand at the door, 7:20 greet kids. Jade would come into class every day. Good morning, fat bitch. That was Jade every morning. That was Jade every morning. This little girl was at my son's first birthday party at my sister's house. This little girl, when the pandemic hit, which my years is 2 years after when the pandemic hit, called, can you send me groceries? This little girl still asks me every spring break, where we going? Because when they got put in that room with just me, they were forced to develop empathy and sympathy and have a better relationship with people. You know, I've had kids who, I always get the quote unquote bad kids. I tell people all the time, if your kid is attracted to me and they're bad as fuck.
How did you get past the morning fat bitch? Because I'm still.
Well, I'm sitting here waiting.
I'm still at the door like
pivot.
So what my former AP will tell you is that I probably should have been fired a long time ago. I wouldn't be quitting if I was fired. Because if she good morning fat bitch, bald headed hoe. Like since we want,
and I can't bring myself to do that.
This where we at. But I knew it wasn't me. This girl hated humans.
Yeah.
She didn't care if you was old, young, black, white, barking. She didn't like people at all. And once I understood what was going on at home, she had this mother that she saw getting constantly like pushed over by this dad who was just extra as fuck. And she would say all the time, like, my mama too fucking big to be getting fucking bullied. Her mama literally was like 6 foot something, a big woman. And she was like, she's too fucking big. And so she had seen so much in life where she was like, this shit don't make, like this how she talked. This shit don't make no sense. And I remember telling her.
What grade is this again?
Fifth grade. And I remember having conversations with her, like me and her ended up going to St. Nail shop at one point. Like
the mama.
No, me and the kid. I had grown a relationship with this little girl to the point where she would hit me like, where are we going on vacation? Like because it took cultivating a culture just within my classroom, because it wasn't in the school.
Yeah.
But cultivating a culture where all of the kids understood, I'm not your mama because you disrespect your mama. I'm not your daddy because you either don't know him or you disrespect him. I'm not none of these other folks. They were in that classroom with me every single day. You don't know how to act in the cafeteria? You'll eat breakfast in here. You'll eat lunch in here. You don't know how to act in specials? Ain't no specials. You in here with me. There were plenty of days I was with them kids from 7:20 until whenever they were dismissed to go home. Mm-hmm. They were always the last to get on anybody's school bus. And you're going to sit your ass on the front row. And you're going to be the first to get off this bus because you're a problem. And I just kept it real honest with them. But we had fun. We had one of my former co-teachers, her niece was literally in that class. And now these kids are off in colleges, played sports. I got some track runners, some like, these kids over the years where it took, I won't even call it tough love, but it took somebody being real transparent with them. And now I tell every group of kids that I get, if you like the lifestyle you living right now, you okay with living where you live at right now, for the rest of your life, you okay with doing whatever your parents do every single day, keep going. I'm not talking to you. I haven't did any speech I give is not directed at you. You have decided. But if there's anything about your life that's not okay, I can help you change that right now, today. right now today. I one of the fourth graders, he just crossed Omega just recently, so that was cool to see. But so you get and that's the second part about teaching elementary is we wait a long time to see like the fruits of our labor.
Yeah.
We wait a long time, you know. Versus high school, you can see them the next year, like look at your private. But it took a lot, and I've always played that mother role, and I've had to come off of it.
So what got you through those days? Because I'm over here exhausted.
I'm exhausted every day.
7 to 2.
I'm exhausted every
You
day.
had them kids from 7 to 2 on
7
any
to 2.
day.
Oh
like,
no, we not even on any given day. It would be weeks at a time. It would be 4, 5 weeks straight. Nobody but me and them in a room. Ain't no learning
How
took
did you
place.
get through it though? Like after work, what was you doing? Before
Drink.
work, what was you doing?
All right.
If I'm honest, the reward was in seeing them turn. That was enough for me. That's how I know it's time to get out. That's not enough. First of all, I'm not seeing them turn. But seeing them turn was enough for me. I started seeing kids that would never speak to you. There was like literally like a gang war in the middle of my classroom. There would just like be kids like, well, talk to them. Well, you had the mean girl cliques and again, because these were the 31 worst students on the whole grade level, handpicked to be in this one room. And mind you, I was still co-taught, so we part of that 31 had flags on them. Mm-hmm. And so part of that, and we didn't have pull-out resource. Resource had to push in. There was no pull-out resource. That's a whole nother story. But because that was the case, for the most part, I was a new mom. Like
I had just had
Aaron. He had this first part of the school year, he was hitting at 6, 7 months. So the second part, 8 months, because school started in August. He's January baby. So 7, 8 months. So by the end of the school year, he was a year old. I will say this, Eric played a very pivotal part in our relationship building. Because they would, like, if he would come up to the school, they'd just be like, oh my God. And I'd be like, you get away from my child because you don't know how to talk to people. And they would be so, like, upset and just like, you know, his first birthday party, I remember I had to give them kids an invitation. And they were trying their hardest to come. Like, parents were calling like, my kids said, and I had like 2 or 3 of them who came, but only one of them who, like, she stayed the whole time. She wanted to pass out the hot dogs, and then they became so invested in my life to the point where when my sister passed, some of them like reached out like, I am so sorry, you know. So it for the most part, it was just seeing that turn, and it'd be the turn at like the smallest things. Like eventually, she stopped walking through the door saying, "Good morning, fat bitch." Now it was "Good morning, fatty." Like she wasn't gonna let it go. She had to be consistent, right? And then it eventually came to "Good morning." God forbid I'm sick. Oh, that was another story. So they snuck and figured out how to get my phone number. That's when I learned that, oh girl, you know, Siri is one little boy. He follows me. He knows what I'm talking about. One little boy, he literally one day was like, "Hey Siri, dial." And he called himself, and so that's how he got my number. If I was out, poor substance food, bless their heart, but bless any sub whoever was in that classroom heart. Them kids didn't want to hear shit the substance was talking about. I left sub plans. They would call me, Miss Mohammed, we're supposed to go to the bathroom, and she told me we can't go to the bathroom. Tell her we need to go to the bathroom, or we not. And like they were so at mind. There were still teachers on the grade level that were, but people already knew like just let their class run itself. And when I tell you, our principal, when they graduated that May, our principal was like, if y'all saw these kids, it was like some lean on me type shit, for real.
That's what I was thinking.
It was lean on me meets Freedom Rider.
Freedom Riders was
and you sprinkle in Abbott Elementary for fun. Like it was very much so. It took a village for sure. Because shout out to our resource teacher, him, not her, but our resource teacher. He would literally come in there and stand on the desk and be like, "Everybody think they big and bad." Like we would clear the floor. You want to fight? Clear the floor. Let them fight. And that, you know, space opportunity. Folks, shut the hell up. So it was, but I let them do the fun stuff. Like, so y'all really not gonna learn because you want to have a dance battle? Fuck it, have a dance battle. Let's go. We did karaoke. We did all the bullshit that people would be like, stop wasting instructional time. But we couldn't get to the instruction if they weren't there.
Good for you.
And they performed. When it was time to perform, they performed.
That's
So it was a struggle, but I for sure was like,
so you said this wasn't even your hardest year.
This was my hardest year because it was a combination of the staff and the outside of my having to deal with you staff and the kids and the fucking parents. I didn't have parents to deal with that particular year. Yeah. I had some parents, but they were nowhere near. And the crazy thing about that school in particular is that they have resources. Our kids are the same kids as them, but they don't have resources. We don't have the social media issues and all this shit right there because they ain't got no damn phone. They don't got no Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So, but those kids have resources. These are Ellenwood kids, partner. And so they would go and meet up at off-site locations to fight and have issues. And they were able to, on my phone I did this but I didn't have parents to deal with because the parents had to understand it. In my classroom, there's only one person who runs it, and that's me. My administration understood there's only one person who runs it, and that's me. So everybody was on the same page, but that's why I said I couldn't do that with this group this year because the parents who had it this year, the school year's over. They were a different degree of ignorant. They were very fucking ignorant this year, and I was like, no, I ain't deal with parents this much. Even when I taught kindergarten, I didn't deal with parents as much. Like they were trusting their little 5-year-olds with me. But this group.
Now tell me this: do y'all judge those types of parents
who are hands off?
Yeah, any types, the abusive ones, the ones that you talking about that you may see on news, hands off. Here go my child. Do what you will.
I absolutely judge the abusive ones. What the fuck? Like, and then they have learned to have multiple children. Like, what the fuck? Like, I see that one is hard. I'm one and done. I think if I would say this, the one type of parent who I absolutely be like, oh, you ain't shit, is the co-parents who can't get along. And I dealt with that this year. I had a dad who, is he at school? And I'm like, did you ask the mom? Like, why the fuck don't y'all know? Or mom would be like, cause when he get like this kid has paid for field trips, this kid has paid for different shit school has done. He's never got any of it because dad pays for it. Mom has no clue that dad. But how the fuck are y'all raising a kid? And I judge that.
And don't communicate.
I judge that because that is such a sorry, pathetic thing. And why are you having this horrible ass image outside the house? Like that I judge that because it's like that's so messy. That's so messy. It's hard. It's harder for me to judge the single moms. Yeah. Although I can't stand to hear them go, because I'm a single mom. I know you don't understand. You don't know me from a can of paint.
Yeah.
Because again, I've been single mom since I learned that he was coming. So you can't convince me that you've been a single mom is a problem. Your problem is you got 5 kids. That's what those choices were made. Yeah. And not made.
Yep.
So they're about the ones that I probably give more grace to or single.
I think that so I started off with the smaller babies. I started off with pre-K. I did self-contained for like 4 years. And it was, special ed. So seeing them be neglected, I think was just like, I can't even. Because it's one thing, when you're able to maybe be self-sufficient and, you don't really take care of yourself or you have older kids, so you kind of expect for them to be able to take care of themselves in certain aspects. But like, if you got a 3-year-old that's coming in there and they don't have, the right kind of stuff, they're not getting the resources that they need, have health issues, you're just not trying to help them. I think that's just too much. Because it's like, why? Like, for the most part, I would like to think that those resources are somewhat given to you, or you're given access to them. Mm-hmm. So why are you just, that ignorant to just not take them?
Kids with special needs may be the most emotional.
Yeah.
Even those parents, like if I'm somewhere and I see a parent like pushing their kid in a wheelchair or like anytime we go to like the ER, but it's like an extended hospital, I automatically go praying for the kids that's in there, or the parents that's in there. Those St. Jude commercials always make me sad. Like, yeah, those ones always touch my heart. So it's like, I can't even judge those parents, because I can only imagine, like, what happens if you, like us, got those critical days and you can't take off, or you don't have the means, or you have the 5 other kids and this was a kid that had the issues, and maybe you're depressed about it to the point where you're just not accepting what's going on.
Yeah.
Along with whatever the fuck else you got going on. Even, honestly, even the abusive parents. And I remember my aunt looked at me so sideways, but I was like, Ema, I can't even judge the ones who abuse their kids, because I could see how maybe they scream at that high pitch that rings your heart.
Or you being able to maybe calm your patients, and somebody else just doesn't have it today.
Because that's me sometimes. And I'll just go outside the house like, Evan, I don't know what we got to do, but I need him to stop making that noise. Or, listen, I won't even be able to talk and articulate exactly what's going on. But then it's like, now I see how my mama ended up reacting the way she reacted. Yeah. Now I see why grandma reacted the way she reacted. Because it's like like the only thing you know how to is to force it to stop, right? But I judge pedophiles. I judge people who accept pedophilia. That whole mama on drugs and needed to give her child up for it. Nah, hell no. Those are the absolute ones where it's like, I don't give a fuck I don't care. Death.
Yeah.
Kill them. Yeah. Kill them. Yeah. They shouldn't even be here no more. But everybody else, I can kind of, if anything, why or how or what's going on or what do y'all need? Do you know that these things are out there? Because it's a lot of times, first thing I do is call parents and be like, hey, look, so this what's going on here. What y'all doing? What's up? What y'all need? Y'all good?
Yeah.
Like, what's up? Like, no, we're here to help you. So, like, because this child is going to be in the workforce very soon. So, what are we doing with the rest of their lives? And just coming from that standpoint, like, y'all good? What's up? What y'all need? What's going on? I really don't have people go off on me and snap on me or whatever. They'll say if there's a need or not. The sad one for me too is I just can't do it no more. I can't take it no more. I don't have nothing for them. And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What? But and I was like, okay, Brooklyn, why you doing all this talking? There may come a day where you just can't take it no more. Yeah. And it's like, those are the parents too, where it's like, I need y'all to get help. I need y'all to get some assistance. I need y'all to I found APS has a whole book front to back, and maybe 50 pages, but every type of resource, whether it's Medicaid, food stamps, electricity, pantry closets, church, therapy, for all ages, whatever. And I'm like, no, look, here's some resources. Y'all don't know what to do with these kids for the summer? STEM programs, and it's free. Here you go. And they'll probably eat there too. Take them to the library, drop them off, let them sit at the library, let them walk, let them catch the bus. Find something for these kids to do, or find something for you that's going to help you. So when I think of, is mom okay? I think just reflecting that consideration for other moms is huge. Like, I don't look at women the same way anymore. And the biggest disgrace to me is when I feel like I'm not being considered as a mother from a mother. Like, bitch, you know what it is. Don't even you know what it is. Don't even act like that. Yeah. So I definitely think we gotta have more consideration, because it's not a yes or no. It's not a black and white. It's gray as fuck. So us having consideration for each other, us learning how to speak up and being resourceful and providing those resources. That's why I'm real big on, okay, at the end of every episode, we need the advice, resource, because you never know who needs what. So that biggest takeaway for me is definitely speaking up. And if you don't know what's going on, just say, hey, I don't know what this is, but I don't like it. And your community or the people around you just considering you.
I would definitely say for me, mine is probably if you can step away. Like, a lot of times, like, frustration, anger, hurt, pain, whatever it is, if you can, some situations, don't leave the baby on the edge of the thing to roll off and hurt themselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like if you can, step away, step back, step into your mind. I find myself having to do that sometimes and ignoring the fuck out of them kids and whatever it is that they got going on. Because if I let it, my house can go from 0 to completely 100. They fight like cats and dogs if I let them. And ignoring it sometimes, as long as nobody is hurting themselves, it's going to be, it is what it is. At the end of the day going
Lord. My advice, and this actually came from my teammate last year actually. Last school year, she told me, she said, she's like, you need to take a break. But she said, not, I was like, fuck a break. I come back to this.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, no, you need to get to some water. And I've never really, I've heard people who are like into, astrology and things of that nature talk about the power of water. But ironically enough, after she said that to me, one of my graduation gifts was a cruise. And we went on a cruise, and that was 2022. And I have been pretty, because that was over the edge, but I've been pretty straight since then. And I feel like it's also why I'm okay. I was very adamant about getting to the water for over spring break. So after we last met up, I took my son, went to Florida, and getting to the water is something about, and I don't know, maybe because I'm a Cancer, it might be that, I'm a water sign, but getting to the water, just even you were talking about today, like I just want to put my feet in, and I have found, like I will literally, if I'm having them out, go in the bathroom, turn the water on, and just, while I'm sitting on the toilet, just stick my hand in the water,
run on your
hand. Because it literally forces your sensory and your neurological system. Lord, shout out to a science teacher. It forces it to really recenter and balance out. So I would advise, like, get into the water if you can. Like, just get to it and let it move, because it is moving. It has energy. So
I'm gonna steal yours. So my resource for today, this is real far for people, but I don't know if the bus goes up there either. Roswell, the mill, the old mill where they shot movies and stuff like. Have y'all been out there?
Yeah.
I literally sat on the rock. Was that Mother's Day weekend? Maybe the weekend before. But I sat on the rock and it's just a waterfall, and it's so loud. It literally drowns out everything. And I just sat there and talked to God and let the waterfall drown it all out. So if you can go to a waterfall, if you can YouTube a waterfall, if you need to watch the TLC video again, waterfall,
you know what?
Get you.
Do y'all know on your phone there is where you can do background noise? Y'all didn't know that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, it's a resource. It's a resource. Okay, so if you go to your phone, you have to put it in your accessibility, but you go here, right, where the little ear is, click on it. Okay, so you put the background sound. Rain will come up on the background sound.
I like that.
They have an ocean, they have like outside, they have nighttime, and it's and it'll play whatever else plays in your phone.
I like that.
It'll play. I love that. I do it all the time.
So,
oh my god!
I guess I'll stick with the theme of my resource. I'm an immersive person. Like it's very all or nothing, unfortunately. And so what I do every year, so my resource is the Georgia Aquarium on your birthday. Of course, it's free. And so I go every July 19th, and I sit at the floor to ceiling tank, and I just sit there for 2 hours, and I feel like I'm under the ocean.
Yep.
And I literally just sit there. I just sit there. So that's something for sure to consider. If you are a teacher, Georgia Aquarium has emailed you a free ticket for this summer. So yeah, they should.
That's resource part 2. So they sent it to us.
It should be. They email. You probably have to look up like the aquarium part. But even if not, I think you just go and show your ID or something.
The whole summer or certain days?
I think it's only like a one-time use type thing.
But any day.
I can do
Yeah,
that.
but it's right.
I
Yeah.
can do that because the kids go to
So,
daycare. It works.
I literally, because I like to spend my birthday by myself, and I'm a summer baby. I'm a Cancer, so I go and I sit in the tank, and for 2 hours straight, I just sit there because it's so, it's dark.
Mm-hmm.
And they got the AC on, and I just sit there. And if I have to cry, I cry, and I just kind of be like, okay, this is what life is. All right,
Yep.
let's go eat something.
Yep.
So that's something to take into consideration. And if your baby is a new person, they get it free. So
yeah,
I think yours.
I think
is
3
still
and under.
good.
Yeah, food is still free.
Yeah. So and it, Aaron's a little tall, but
my son is still 3. Of course, aquarium requirement.
So,
crush some kids up in the stroller.
Somebody said you just hold me your hand. Somebody said they got to Disney World by just holding the little boy in his hand. He was like, he was 5, and he's like, he saw somebody pick him up and just walk through. He was like, so he picked him up. Here we go. And they got into Disneyland.
I bet I do
Disney
that.
World.
I bet I do that. That's
I said, okay.
But don't be mad and cuss Disney out, though.
Right. Wait till you go
Hey,
out. Like, make sure you shout the podcast out, though, if you do get in trouble. Oh, man. That was good.
Yes.
But this is a wrap. So I think if mom is not okay, she's definitely going to be okay. So yeah, just stay strong, moms. Y'all too. Stay strong. We got this.
Yes.
All right. See y'all later.